Welcome to day 9 of our video advent calendar, and today my whole kitchen smells like Christmas. It has that really lovely orangey Christmas smell to it, and I'm going to show you what I've been doing in just a bit that has made my whole kitchen smell like Christmas. We're also going to see what Lucy's been up to, but first of all I have my vintage book ready to open with my ornaments. So let's see what ornament I have today. Actually today, perfect day. I have my dried oranges. Now these are one of my favorite ornaments. I make these myself, and I'm actually going to show you in just a bit how I do that. But they're so easy to make, and I just love the way a very natural Christmas tree looks, very simply with the oranges and the way the light shines through. They're just beautiful. So I'm going to go and add these to my Christmas tree. And let's go see what Lucy's been up to today. So after yesterday's shenanigans with the dogs, Lucy decided today to get a bit of rest and relaxation and enjoy some popcorn in front of the TV. This year for our ornaments on our Christmas trees, I've really tried to stick with the traditional Victorian ornaments, and one of the things I love about that time is they would use fresh oranges and different fruits and dry them, and it makes beautiful ornaments. They're so simple, they're so easy, and it makes your house smell just glorious as they're drying. So today I'm going to dry some more orange slices, and then I'm going to use them as a variety of different decorations on my Christmas tree. So all I do is I just get a bunch of oranges, and I've done it with lemons, grapefruits, you could even do it with pears. It doesn't really matter about the fruit. And basically I just cut them, and you want to cut them fairly thin. The thicker the pieces are, the longer they take to dry. So I kind of try and do it fairly thinly, and I just cut the slices, and very, very simply we put them on a baking sheet. So I just use a cookie baking sheet, and I cover it with some greaseproof paper, and I literally just lay them onto the baking sheet, and then they go in the oven at 200 for 4 hours. And what I tend to do is I tend to turn them each hour. So I put a timer on for an hour, I let them bake for an hour, I then get them out and I turn them, and then I put them in, and I do that each hour for 4 hours, and then I turn my oven off, and then I just leave them overnight. And so as the temperature in the oven cools, it continues to dry them out, and then in the morning they're nicely dried and ready for you to use in your ornaments. So I tend to do my oranges, I'll often do them in the afternoon or the evening, and then I just turn the oven off and just let it cool completely, and then get them out in the next morning. So my alarm has just gone off, and I've just taken these out of the oven. They've had 1 hour, and so now I'm going to actually just turn them all over, and then I'm going to twist the pan round, and I'm going to put it back in the oven, and then I'm going to set my timer for each hour for the next 3 hours. So they will have had 4 hours of time in the oven, and each hour I'm flipping them over, and then after that I'm just going to turn the heat off and let them dry until tomorrow morning. So I left my orange slices in the oven overnight and took them out this morning, and they're now nicely dried and ready for me to use for decorations. So there are a few ways that I like to use dried oranges, or like I said before, you could use grapefruits, lemons, pears. They all look great, but one of the ways I like to use them is to obviously hang them on the Christmas trees, and you could use them in garlands, you can use them on your table with, the ideas are limitless, but I like to hang them as ornaments on my Christmas tree. And the way I very, very simply do that is I get these, oh gosh, they're in a very big pile, but basically they're small metal ornament holders, and they're very, very cheap. You can buy them in any of the stores, and they're just a piece of metal, and basically I just thread the metal through the top here of the ornament, and then at the top you have the hook,
and then it just can sit over your Christmas tree, and then I just tend to just squeeze it over the branches, and then it stops it from coming off. So very, very simply, doesn't take any work, and you have a really, really pretty ornament. And the lovely thing about the dried oranges is the light shines through them. So whether it's the lights on the Christmas tree or the daylight, you get this really beautiful effect with the light.
One of the other ideas that I like to do is to actually have them hanging as groups. And these, I've just put 3 here on this fishing line. And I just use the clear fishing line that you can get in the store. And the great thing about this is you can't then see it. So when they hang on the tree, you see the oranges, but not the wire. And these look really, really pretty grouped together. And you can really do as many as you want. You could put 2, 3, 4, 5. You could put as many in groups as you want to. But again, really pretty, very, very simple idea for ornaments.
So I use one of these metal holders, and I just poke a hole in the top of this, because otherwise it's harder to get your wire through.
So now we have our 3 oranges put together. The other thing I kind of like to do as a final piece is to add some cinnamon sticks, because I think that it just gives a really nice look to the ornament if you have some cinnamon sticks on there too. Now, I've tried various different ways of attaching the cinnamon stick to the orange. I've used wire, I've used like the fishing line, and I find that it doesn't work too well. So I'm a big lover of all things hot glue gun. So this is my final solution, and it actually works really well for me. And it's up to you whether you want to use a hot glue gun or whether you want to find a different way to attach it. But I found it to be the easiest. And so what I tend to do is I just then attach my cinnamon stick to the orange. And there we go, a very simple ornament that can be added to your tree. Looks very pretty, very natural, and is very easy to make. So I'm going to go and add this ornament to my tree, and I'll see you tomorrow on our next Advent Day calendar.